Hey, my beautifully and wonderfully made besties. Take 2 of the video. And this week we're going to do a little bit something different. So here we go.
My whole life. My mom was a very good role model for what it is to be devoted to Christ. Whenever I would walk in my room as a kid, she would either be on her knees praying or reading her Bible. But unfortunately, I had trauma happen at a young age. I was sexually assaulted at a young age. Then it happened a lot, just a couple of times, but enough to mess up my view of the world. Unfortunately, I ended up passing that on to a couple others, and after I realized what I was doing and it stopped, the enemy still would try and attack my mind. I feel very low. I battled with depression and self-esteem, and I hung out with my older brothers a lot. And when we moved down to Texas at the age of 7, I started getting high on Freon. And, I just did it because I was hanging out with the older kids. That's what they were doing, so that's what I was doing. Got into being involved in gangs and learning how to fight and just really how to my own thing, I guess, learn the gang culture. Got into boxing, got into tagging, spray painting when I was in Texas. I earned my nickname Lil Chi. For a long time, that's why I went by Lil Gangster. And I started smoking cigarettes at the age of 7. Was getting high at the age of 7. Tried beer for the first time. Didn't like it, so I didn't really start drinking right away. But I smoked weed. When we came back up to to Michigan, I was about 9. And it didn't take too long for me to start getting into drinking and smoking weed up here and really just starting to party with brothers and get more involved with gangs. I started doing B&Es. And my dad got out from doing a 10-year bit for armed robbery. Came home when I was around 11 or 12, and he ended up drinking a lot. It wasn't good. He ended up offering me cocaine at the age of 12, and I promised myself I would never do it or get involved with it. And I ended up breaking that promise to myself later on in life. And he ended up raping my sister, my half-sister. And she ended up going to live at foster care and ready to get locked up shortly after. Or actually, maybe even before that, I was probably already getting locked up around that time. And the longest time I did as a juvenile was 1 year and 5 months. And then after I got out from doing 1 year and 5 months, I met my ex-wife, Latasha, when I was 16 and she was 22, and I thought I was the man. Getting with the older woman that had 2 kids. I always wanted to be a dad because I never had a dad. And, there's a lot to my testimony, so there's gonna be multiple series. I was selling heroin, and then when I seen what it was doing to people, I stopped selling it and adapted a quote-unquote moral If I'm not willing to use it, I'm not going to sell it. And at the age of 18, I started really selling cocaine a lot. And I found out that I really liked cocaine. And that, yeah, you can make some really good money on selling stuff. So I started selling that, got into the almighty Latin counts, and quickly rose up in the ranks, became a leader. And, what went into that was arson and shootings and just putting in a lot of violent work. And we're involved with the shooting. Drove the car for me, or talk about how I was in and out of juvie. I never really finished the 6th grade. Talk about how I grew up, kind of around witchcraft in Texas. When I first got introduced to that, I had friends that were into doing witchcraft, and I was able to get baptized because I knew the Bible so well, even though I wasn't living it. There was a small church that believed that children shouldn't be baptized because they don't know the commitment they're giving themselves to. But since I knew the Bible so well, they said I had such a strong calling on my life that they allowed me to get baptized. And that was always one of the biggest things, that how I knew that God was never going to leave me in my mess, even when I was gangbanging, even when I was suicidal and trying to kill myself the multiple times that I tried to kill myself as a teenager. We can talk about that, and we can talk about, and if I had been strong enough to submit to him a lot sooner, my life would have been a lot better, but I wasn't ready to submit to him or the calling.